Good morning, students. In last video we have studied about bad debts and discounts and donation and charity. Today we are going to start our new topic of chapter 7 is purchase of an fixed asset. Fixed assets such as machinery, furniture, fixture, car, land are purchased to increase the earning capacity of the business, not for resale like goods. We are purchasing goods also, we are purchasing fixed assets also, but we purchase good for resale purpose but not for production purpose. In case of fixed asset, we purchase fixed asset for reproduction. Like if we purchase machinery, we will use it for making goods. So there is a difference between purchase of goods or their purchase of fixed asset. Fixed asset, if we purchase fixed asset, it will reuse for reproduction. But in case of goods, if we purchase goods and stock, maybe we can stock it or maybe we can resell it. We resell it for profit. But in case of fixed asset, we will use it. Then at the end of its life, we will sell it. But that will not count under stock because we use that particular asset for reproduction of another goods. So the entry will be for purchase of fixed asset. As I told, all assets are debit and all liabilities are credit. So when we purchasing an fixed asset will debit, and what we are paying for purchasing that asset is maybe cash, maybe bank, or maybe on credit. If we purchase it on credit, then we will use vendor's name from whom we are purchasing that fixed asset. It is an example of purchasing of an car from Mr. Mukesh in cash. Then entry will be car account debit to cash. But if we are purchasing from Mukesh on credit basis, then the entry will be car account debit to Mukesh account. Next thing is on sale of fixed asset. In case of we are selling of fixed asset, we have four types of that. First is on cash basis. If we are selling on cash basis, the entry will be cash account debit to fixed asset, because business receiving cash in cash by selling the fixed asset, and as I told, whatever comes in we will debit it, whatever goes out we will credit it, because we have sold assets. So the purchaser will take over the asset, and we by paying cash or maybe check to us. So business will receive cash or check, and the purchaser will receive fixed asset from us. So we will debit cash or bank and will credit fixed asset. If we are selling our asset on credit basis, there will be only one change. On the place of cash and bank, we will use vendor's name, means the purchaser who is purchasing our fixed asset. Next thing is loss on sale of asset. No, in every case we won't have profit on sale of asset, and in some cases we can sell it on actual cost also. But if we sold it more than the actual cost, then it will be a profit for us, and maybe if we sold less than the actual cost, it will be a loss for us. Then first entry is for loss in case of sale asset. When we are selling our asset, if the value of the asset is 10,000 and we sold it in 9,000, so there will be a loss for us which is 1,000. So what we are receiving 9,000, but what we are expecting 10,000. So we are having a loss of 1,000. So it will be debit. As I told in golden rules, all expenses and losses we debit. So there is a loss on sale of asset, so we will debit it. In vice versa case, profit on sale of asset. If we have an actual value of 10,000 for car, how much we are expecting? 10,000. But if we sold it in 11,000, If we sold in 11,000, then how much cash we will receive? 11,000. The actual value of the car is 10,000, and the remaining 1,000 will be profit for us. And as I earlier told you about the golden rules, in golden rules we will credit all incomes and gains. So gain on sale of an asset is a gain for us. Entries for purchase of fixed asset. First is purchase building and issued check for 15 lakh. What we purchased? A building, so we will debit the asset, debit to, because we are paying through check, so we will use bank instead of cash. And we won't use fixed asset here because we know the name of that fixed asset. We are purchasing the building and the amount will be 15 lakh. Next entry is purchase machinery from Ramshan, Chandigarh on credit in 2 lakh. So entry will be what we purchased, machinery, so we will debit asset, machinery account debit. 2, we are not paying money to Ramshan because we are purchasing on credit, so we will use the name of the seller. The seller is Ramshan, so we used to Ramshan. The amount will be 2 lakh. Next thing is brought furniture from Hind Trader from Delhi for cash 10,000. So what we bought? Furniture, so we will debit furniture account debit to cash because we are purchasing in cash, not on credit basis. If this entry will be on credit basis, then we will use Hind Traders instead of cash account because we are purchasing assets. So as we know, all assets are debit, and what business are paying to the seller is cash. So inflow is furniture and outflow is cash. Next entry is brought computer from HPL Limited, Noida, UP, and amount paid by internet transfer 50,000. So as we know, if we transfer money through internet, it will go through a bank. So when we purchase an asset through internet transfer, it will also count under bank. So what we purchased? Computer. As we know, we debit all assets, computer account debit to bank because we are transferring money through internet, and in case of internet we use bank. Next is paid cash for installation of machinery. Here is a thing that we are paid wages because we are installing a machinery. When we use wages for installing a machinery, we will add that amount in the cost of the machinery. So we will debit machinery account instead of wages account, and what we paid is cash. So inflow is of machinery and outflow is cash. Next thing is brick, cement, etc. for 1,50,000 and timber for 2 lakh purchased for the renovation of the building. Payment was made by the check. As I told, when we are extending the capacity of fixed asset, we will debit that amount in the fixed asset. If we are purchasing bricks and cements for construction of any other house, then we will use it for purchase of bricks and cement account debit. But when we are purchase it for renovation of a building, because after renovation building capacity would be increased, so we will debit building account and what we are paying by check. So we will credit check to bank and the amount will be 1,50,000 and 2 lakh is 3,50,000. Top point is sundry expenses. Sundry expenses, what we mean about sundry expenses? Often petty expenses such as refreshment, postage, conveyance, etc. are included in business. All these expenses comes under the heading of sundry expenses. Like if office using some money for providing refreshment to the office workers or employees and using stationeries in office, or any conveyance providing for little work of the office, it will all come under sundry expenses, or maybe can call miscellaneous expenses. So as we told earlier about, all expenses and losses will be debit and what we are paying for will be credit. In case of we are paying cash, then we will credit cash. In case of we are paying check for those expenses, then we will use bank instead of cash. Next thing is outstanding expenses. Outstanding expenses are the expenses that are incurred in the current year but have not been paid till the year end. Means those expenses which are still outstanding, we need to pay them, that are liability on us. When we are paying an expenses, we will debit that expense, and in which form we are paying, in cash in bank, we will credit it. So entry will be, if we are paying wages, then entry will be wages account debit to cash. But if the expenses are outstanding still, so it means we did not pay any cash or any bank till now. So what we will use, outstanding wages instead of cash or bank. Like an entry of we have an outstanding wages of 20,000. So entry will be, if we are paying wages account debit to cash account, but if that amount is still outstanding, then entry will be wages account debit to outstanding wages, because we did not pay any cash or bank for that. Next entry is prepaid or unexpired insurance. Expenses paid in advance are called prepaid expenses. It means those expenses are not incurred yet, but we already paid for them. So if we paid for them, the entry will be expenses account debit to cash account. But in case when we paid before the time they incurred, if we have to pay an wages of amount 20,000, but we paid it 30,000 to him, it means we already paid 10,000 extra to him. What that amount we will count under prepaid. We paid an amount which is not incurred till now. So entry will be for that amount is prepaid expenses account to expense account. If we take example of wages, then entry will be prepaid wages account debit to wages account. Next is maybe sometime we pay premium in advance, like if our premium policy date is 31st March and we paid it up to June, so there will be a 3-month prepaid amount we paid for that insurance policy. So same entry will go there, prepaid insurance premium to insurance premium, because we are paying insurance premium but we paid it in advance. It is an asset for us, and when there is an amount which is outstanding, that is an liability for us. As we know, we debit all assets and we credit all liabilities. Next is accrued income or income earned but not due. The income which has been earned but has not due is called accrued income. Means that income that we have earned but not received till now. Like we take an example that if I earned an profit of 20,000 on selling of some assets, I earned that income, but till now I did not receive it. Means at the ending of the financial year, I did not receive that amount. So it means I earned that income but not received. So we will use accrued income instead of cash, because that income name, I don't know what I sold. So name is here for whatever I sold, and income that I received in form of cash or bank. But as I told, I did not receive that income till now, so we will use accrued income instead of cash or bank. Our next point is income received in advance or unearned income. Means that income that we did not earn till now, but we received it in advance. As we earlier studied that we are paying paying expenses in advance to someone. Same in case someone can pay to us also in advance. So it means that it will be that income that which not until now, but we received it in advance. Income received in advance but not earned, against which sale of goods or services is yet to be made, is called income received in advance. As may be point taken as in case of we sold goods of 20,000 but we received a check of 50,000 from him, means we received it in advance, because we are selling of the goods only of 20,000 but we received how much advance? 30,000. So same as case we can take for income also, that we received it in advance. So the income we received in advance is an liability on us because we did not earn it, but we received it advance. So the entry will be go like that, the amount that we received in advance to here, and for what we are receiving that we will debit it. Like if we are received 20,000 wages in advance, so entry will be wages account debit to wages received in advance. We need to pay it back, or maybe we can work it for it. After some time we can cover it. Next thing is depreciation. Depreciation is a fall in the book of value of asset due to its normal wear and tear, obsolescence and passage of time. Normal wear and tear means normal use of it. If we use an asset, there will be an decrease in value of that asset. Obsolescence means technological advancement. Next thing is and passage of the time, as I told, by using it continuously, so there is an decrement or decrease in working life of that particular asset. So the entry for that asset will be depreciation on that asset will be depreciation account debit to that fixed asset. We can take an example of an car or maybe an bike or anything. When we are purchasing that fixed asset, it will be a brand new thing, but after some time, maybe 1 year or 2 years, the value of that asset will start decreasing. So every year there will be an decrement in that asset value. It may be 10%, it may be 20%. Few entries for those topics. First is interest due but not received. As I told, interest means income. So the entry will be go like accrued income account debit to income. Accrued interest account debit to interest, because here we know the name of that particular income. In which form that income is interest. So we have the name of that particular thing, so we will use name of that thing. And accrued interest means same as we have earned it but we did not received it. Next thing is salary payable to staff. Payable means outstanding. So the entry we rule for this, we studied outstanding expenses. Outstanding expenses are that are incurred in current year but have not been paid till the year end. So entry will be wages account debit to outstanding using. Same here we do salary account debit to outstanding salary, because it is an payable, so it is an liability for us, and all liabilities we will credit. Next thing is out of rent paid this year, rest 2,000 relate to the next year. It means we paid 2,000 for the next year also. So it is an prepaid rent we paid for it. Entry we just studied prepaid or unexpired expenses. Rent is an expense for us and we paid it in advance. So entry will be prepaid expense debit to expense, and we know the name of that thing because we paid rent, so we will use rent instead of expense. Entry will go prepaid rent account debit to rent account. Our next entry is provide 10% depreciation on furniture costing 5,000. We have a furniture of costing 5,000 and we need to provide 10% depreciation on that furniture value. So entry will be depreciation account debit to fixed asset, and here we know the name of that fixed asset. Name of the fixed asset is furniture, so we will use furniture instead of fixed asset. So depreciation amount is 10% of 5,000. So 10% of 5,000 is 500. So the amount of the depreciation will go 500. Depreciation account debit to furniture. Next entry is good used in making furniture. Sale price 2,000 and cost 1,500. If we use goods for making an asset, we will use basic cost, not selling price. Selling price is for only value of sale, not for production. And we produce furniture by using goods. So furniture account debit 1,500, and we did not purchase furniture but we made it by using our own goods. So we will use purchase instead of cash or bank. 1,500. Next entry is received commission of 10,000 by check, half of which is advance. As I told, in some cases we received advance income. The first entry for this, bank account debit 10,000 to commission received. Because we received check for that income, so we will debit bank. And in which form we received it? Commission, and commission is an income for us, and as we know, all income and gains will be credited. So in this case we received half of the amount in advance. So how much we earned till now? Only 5,000, but how much we received? 10,000. So the commission received in advance is an liability for us. So entry for this will be commission received account debit to commission received in advance. As we know that all liabilities would be credited, and commission received here 10,000. So we will debit it to decrease the value of that commission received. We can use a single entry for this. It will be bank account debit 10,000, because we are receiving 10,000 in our bank account, but to commission received it will go 5,000, and to commission receive in advance, it will be 5,000. So we can do it in a single entry also, and we can split both the entries also.